know if you remember this project from last year. I was ready to throw it, and then I thought, you know what, why don't I use this to try and do a texture finish on this and try the crackle. And then I painted this white because I wanted to try a piece of decoupage paper and to see what happens if between decoupage paper and the one component, to see whether the decoupage paper itself would work. And then the last one is just that I painted this with 2 coats of paint, acrylic paint, this one, the Anita's. And we're going to do it the way we know they said that it would work. So hopefully we'll figure out what can and what cannot work. And I'm going to start with this one. I'm using the stencil that I used yesterday for the cushion. So I'm recycling that, and I'm recycling the chicken. I don't have a lot of this crackle yet because I haven't really experimented with it, but after today, depending on what happens, I will decide whether I'm getting more. So let me just turn this down a little bit so that I can get the whole chicken. The first thing, yes. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Betty. So I'm going to use this texture medium that I also sell by APS. And let's see if I can apply it. I'm not going to do a thick coat because I want it to dry quickly. And we will have to use some heat because this, I cannot see this drying without heat. So it's really more of a technique tutorial today. What works, what doesn't. If you decide you want to try crackle. And these are, this one is a product I haven't really, I've used it once. Just to try out the way they said to use it. But we're going to see if we can push it to do more. And I'm going to remove the stencil and get rid of it because I think it's done its bit. And it's okay, we're not covering the rest of it because it's really going to be more of a test to see if it will still crackle on the red too. Because you know, crackle is very temperamental. And doesn't always do. Thank you, Betty. Hi, Hazel, how are you? So, I'm going to put this to dry, but I will more than likely dry it with I'm trying to figure out right and left. I will probably dry it with my heat gun. So whilst this is drying, let's apply some, this is a piece of decoupage that you'll all recognize. Oh, I'm glad, Kim. Well, it's the only way to learn what works and what doesn't, and I don't really want to wait till people tell me it works or it doesn't, so I'm trying to find a brush that I can use to apply my decoupage, and I want kind of a not big one, and I'm just going to use my decoupage varnish and glue, but matte. Hey Gwendolyn, how are you? You have to go back and watch the beginning. I showed you a pillow. I love it. It came out great. So I'm just going to apply some decoupage glue here. And you know, with decoupage we use a lighter color, which is why I went with white. And the other two colors, the black that I showed you, and the red also will show up. I'm just decoupaging this, and I'm going to seal it with the decoupage medium. And we will leave this to dry whilst we work on just want to make sure that we've sealed it well whilst we work on the last one. Okay, so that one needs to dry. Thank you, Betty. Thanks everyone for joining. My name is Rima Bechara, and I'm doing an experiment today. We do different things every single day, and I look forward to sharing what I know and experiment with you. So now we're going to use, this has been painted with 2 coats of acrylic black paint. So I'm going to use the crackle medium. And of course, with the crackle medium, we all know this is a thin, it's a thin consistency. Depending on how thick or thin you put it, the results of your crackle will be determined. If you put it on thick, typically crackles will appear thick. If you put it on thin, then they'll be thinner, and then depends on the direction. Right now I'm just doing a straight lines on this side, and let's see what happens if I just do like X's, and I might leave a line in the middle. Just to see what kind of crackle finish we get. Crackle is incredibly temperamental. I'm just going back and thinning it out just a little bit. I don't want to add any more. But I want to cover most of the surface except this line here, so we'll know where we started our experiment. And I'm going to leave this to dry, but we will heat it up. And then with this one, I'm just going to heat it up very quickly and do the same thing. Oh, I'm so glad, thank you. Oh, it does. 3 says 3D. Okay, Betty, can you do me a favor? Can you just send me a message? Thank you. Thanks, I got that, Betty. Thank you. So I'm just drying the decoupage, and then we'll apply the 1 component crackle over here, and we'll see what happens. Thank you so much. Camille's, most of you who go to company or are invited to company holiday parties probably had yours in January. Camille's company is cheap. They wait until after the holidays, which is a little bit well, I don't like it, but tonight they're having it from 5 to 8 in a restaurant in Boston because it's cheaper after the holidays. I'm just waiting for this to cool down. Betty, you can read my mind. You're probably, you know, maybe Camille should take some lessons from you in mind reading. So I'm just going to put the decoupage the one component, the crackle medium, sorry, not the decoupage, the crackle medium. And I'll also be putting it on areas that don't have decoupage, just as a test. I don't know if any of these will work. They may not, I don't know. But we'll find out. Now, when you put on the varnish, you probably can see it on the black better than anywhere else. On the white, oops, on the white you won't. It's shiny, but by the time it dries, and we're going to dry it with a heat gun, it should be kind of not as shiny, and you'll see. Let me just finish this. I'm just going to put it everywhere that I know didn't get the decoupage below. So this is still sandwiched in between two coats. Well, will be sandwiched in between two coats here, but here it'll be sandwiched between acrylic decoupage, decoupage medium, no, crackle, yeah, decoupage medium and crackle medium. So I'm going to put this aside and see if we can dry this. And I don't want to put this in the water. Oh, you can see my fingerprints. Hello, Laura. How are you? Thanks for joining. We're doing an experiment today to see what we can and what we cannot do. And here again, I will do crackle here and crackle here. I should have started with this for drying it first. I hope it does dry, it doesn't take too long. Actually, I like that pattern over the chicken, and I like the chicken in red. At first I was going to use this to decoupage, but then I thought, why waste a perfectly good piece of decoupage paper, and I won't be able to test it on the white itself as well. Oh, it's drying out a little bit. I just have to keep moving it. I know I hate watching paint dry, but you know, that's why I painted the first two coats on. Oh, why does your back hurt, Laura? I'm going to paint all of this, I think. Maybe I'll do it another color. What other color can I use? No, I'm going to do it red. I'm going to use the same thing everywhere. The same color paint, the same everything. The point of this is just to see where it would crackle and where it would not. Okay, that looks like it might be dry. So let me just get my brush. And clean it and add some red. And then I'll dry it and add the crackle. The point is not to see the color of the flowers, but just to see if you did do a crackle over the flowers, whether they would crackle or not. And this was the thinnest. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry, Laura. That must be so uncomfortable. Thank you for joining us, though. I'm going to dry it. My favorite is Pair of Queens. Oh, you are? Oh, that's good. Next week, I think the product I'm going to be testing is going to be a resin by Pentart. And this one is for small molds that have tiny details. I don't know if you can see the, yeah, you can see them. And today I did ask, I don't know if many of you know Theo, Solly Joe's husband. He's an amazing, amazing, funny guy. I asked him if he would one day like to join my, well, like to do his own live on my page. And he said he'll think about it. So it would be great. Hello, Emma, how are you? Welcome. Yeah, you do have to just move on and do the best that you can and take each day as it comes. So as I was saying, Camille's holiday party is today. So going into Boston in the rain is a pain in the neck. I don't feel like it. And we're supposed to get dressed up, but I'm not in the mood. So I'm just going to wait for this to dry out, or to cool down. Let me see this. They're still wet, so we're going to have to dry them all with the dryer. There's no other way of doing it on the live. But if you were at home, you might want to start off, you know, leaving it to dry naturally. Yeah, I did on New Year's Eve, and he wants me to wear the same clothes I did on New Year's Eve. And you know what? I really don't feel like it. Hey, Lori, how are you? Oh, you're so young. This is still not cold, but let's try it. So again, I'm using the Crackle medium. And I'm not going to apply it in one direction either, because I've got a raised texture. Although the raised texture isn't really raised high, that's why we were able to dry it so quickly. But I'm still going to cover most of this area. I'm going to do straight lines here and just see what happens. You'll have to remind me where I've done what, because I'm not very, my memory stinks. And this one we'll just do this way. I'm not putting on a lot of crackle either. I'm going to hold it up so that you can see. The wood seems to be absorbing. Something is absorbing the crackle, maybe the paint. So I'm done with this. Yeah, well, my kids still like me to dress up, and we're stopping by them after. So I'm going to start drying this, and over this one I am going to use white paint. Over the red one I'm going to use red paint. Well, I don't know actually what yeah, I'm going to use white over here because it'll be easier. Maggiano's, Betty, and it's not my favorite place. If we were going to a legal sea on the seaport, then, you know, I would love that, but it isn't. I kind of don't mind dressing up if the weather was good. Thanks for the hearts, everyone. I know it's hard for you to see, so maybe I should do this. Well, you won't be able to see how it's drying with the red, but you will with the black, so. Yeah, we do, Lynn. We have one about 2 miles away, but it's a lousy one. And we have several in Boston. The best one is at the seaport. I love that one. We also have, like, less than a mile away, a Del Frisco, which is hit or miss. Yeah, I know. Last year I avoided it because of COVID, and the year before. And maybe if it was December before Christmas, I wouldn't have minded. It's almost dry. And when it dries, I don't know if you can see the difference between the wet area right here, and the dry one. It's kind of shiny. Yeah, the original legal is very good. Betty, there's a new one in Chestnut Hill called Lima or Lina. It's a seafood place, and I've never had seafood like this. Their seafood is amazing, and I don't like my fish if the fish is fresh. I don't like sauces on it. I just like lemon, oil, and salt and pepper, and that's it. Because it takes away when you put all that stuff on it. Okay, this one is dry. So I'm going to start adding the white. But this place is, they have a whole fridge in the restaurant where they display their seafood. Oh, I love my seafood, just lemon. Where's my plate? Right there. I love my seafood just as plain as possible. Lemon juice. And salt, that's it. Oh, I love lobster, I love crabs. The one thing I do not like is oysters, raw oysters. I just don't like them. Now, here we did a mishmash, I think, and here, oh, this is still wet. I love shrimp cocktail. I'm so sorry. At least we're not talking chocolate. I love red mullets. I love everything that I know what I'm tasting. I just don't like a mishmash of... I don't like breadcrumbs over my fish. I like it plain and simple. Okay, this is dry now. Okay, so now when you're doing this, do not go over it a million times. So I'm going to load up my brush, and I'm just going to do this. I hope I'm not overloading it with going over it too many times. And I still can't, I can see some separations. And this one should crackle because we did go over it with paint. Oh, and I can see some crackle happening. I can see some crackle. Hold on, let me just dry it. You don't, it'll, even without a hairdryer, without a dryer, this is where we did the small crackle. This is the one that we went across this way, and this one we did lengthwise. And you cannot go over, once you see the crackles appear, you can't go over it because I've never had that, Kim. Oh, you are? I've never had orange roughy. I don't know what it is actually. So like here, I have it very thick. You cannot go over and thin it once the crackles appear, because you'll be covering the crackle. I cannot definitely say that the crackle worked great over the texture, even though it was painted. But it certainly worked great when we did it in one direction. Oops. I'm going to show you a close-up. So this is where we did a mishmash like this, like crisscross. This we did in a straight line, I think. And this one was done this way, but you can see that the crackles weren't all the same. So you cannot go over this, or I wonder, with another color, because it's already with two paints. See, I don't like the fact that there are some small crackles on the finish. There is small crackle actually on the texture, so that's what I would expect, because it would be 2 layers of paint. So you can do crack, or you can do texture and then paint it and then do the crackle. So that's one. So we know it works over texture. Let me just put that down and let me get the next one. We're going to have to dry this one. This one I might do in black and in red, because if I do black, we're not going to see here. So I'm going to dry it again. So here I'll do black, and here I will do red. And I apologize for the amount of heating, of drying time that I have to do, but I didn't want to make you sit and wait till next week. It's a project to just try and understand this particular crackle. Still a bit wet. Yeah, it did. On the texture, because we painted the top of the texture in acrylic, Betty. That's why it worked. But I think if I went over it with just nothing, without another paint color, it may not work. And the last one, which is the black one, is the one, this is how they suggest we try it, we do it. a little bit more. Okay, so here I'm going to do black and here I'm going to do white, I mean red. Or I could do red all over. Yeah, let's do red all over. Okay, there's my original red brush. Let me take the water out. I'm just going to use this one and put some red. And again, I'm just using an acrylic paint. And I can see some cracks happening here, but they're small. Oh, and it's cracking. It's cracking over the decoupage. Let me just put some more. Oh, is it snowing? Oh, it's snowing here. Oh, shit. Now, definitely. I shouldn't have said that, should I? It's snowing here. I wish you... Well, I don't want to go anywhere. It is crackling. I'm just doing the edges. And I don't think I did this one. No, it's not. The snow? Oh, you can have the snow, Laurie. Betty and I will send it to you. We'll pay for the shipping too. But you can see the crackle. Let me dry it actually first. Oh, you can see it. I will send it to you. Betty and I are total agreement. We do not want it. We do not need it. It did crackle on the decoupage, but then I'm beginning to wonder why I did that. Why would I want to crackle and paint over a decoupage? Unless you get a paint, an acrylic paint that's clear. And I just thought of that. Unless you get a clear acrylic paint, that has no colorant in, there's no point doing what I just did. I thought it was a brilliant idea. It certainly is not. Oh no. Oh, I have paint on my forehead. That's quite possible. You can have it. Hold on. Where's? Oh yeah, I have paint on my forehead. Yep. And there is this one. There's the decoupage, and you can see. Can you see? I'm just checking. Yeah, you can see some of the crackle. But as I said, this was a waste of time. If I painted this with a clear acrylic colorless product, like I wonder if Floetrol would have worked. I might just have to try that. If I painted this with Floetrol, I wonder if it would have crackled. Maybe I'll try that on the other side and see. But this one did crackle too. It is, you cannot, look at these. This is where I did the little, you know, the X's. But here, I think I went straight across. All right, let's try the last one, which is the black. And we did small ones here. What color would you like to see on top of, or a gel medium? So again, we're back to drying. What color would you like me to put over this? A red or a white? Show me some hearts for white. Red. Okay, so I'll do white, I think. No, I've done white as well. Maybe yellow? Okay, I'll get a yellow. And I have an iridescent gold. I don't know if that would work. Let's see. This is a pigment. No, that's not it. Oh, okay. Okay, I have two acrylics here. The golds I have is an iridescent gold. This one won't show. Let me see if I have any others. I'm trying to... where is my... And I'm trying to dry this. Let me dry this and then I'll look for it. I have a yellow here. I have an oxide here. I have a gold, but it's not, it's for staining watercolor. Okay, this bit is dry, this bit is not, so let me turn this over. I have to find the gold. I think I might have put it away. No, I don't have a gold that would work, but I could try this yellow or the green. Okay, let's try the green. Let's try the green. Okay, it's all done. So when it dries, it does dry shiny. You can see the difference between here and here. So let's put some of this. I don't have the gold or the silver out. I think I put my metallics away. And I don't remember where I put them. Okay, let's find a brush that would work. Okay, so I'm going to start with the straight. And you can see the cracks on this up here. Can you see them? Yeah. Look at this here. Okay, so let me put some more. Look at it. Yes, it is. My paint should be a little bit thinner. And even that's cracking as well. And the cracks appear to be a little bit bigger. Hold on, let me just finish this and then we can talk about it. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Okay, look at the crackle on this. Hold on. I'm going to just... Yeah, it does. I like that. I like this one. I'm going to have to go back and watch the video, see whether this one was the straight one. I think this was the X. I think this was the X because they're the smaller ones. And I really like this. I think with this crackle medium, I like the thicker, the one direction application, because here this one is a kind of a bit of nothing. It really, I'm disappointed by this one, but that's my fault, because I didn't think this one through for some reason. But it did crackle because there was paint over it. And the chicken, let's see if that's changed. I mean, you can see it here and here, but not so much over the texture. It's not that it's not doable over texture, but it's not as obvious as, say, this. You think so? Turtle shell? Yeah, maybe. So, from what I can... using this, the only conclusion I can come to is if you are, let me turn this up a bit. If you want to crackle between two layers of acrylic paint, then this is perfect. It's quick, it's fast. You can use the heat gun to put the first layer, dry it, put in your crackle medium, dry it, and then your top coat. But that's only if you're using acrylic paint. It is just what they said. And the more you put on, the thicker. And try and do it in one direction, because I think that's where the beauty comes in. I'm not so thrilled with the smaller ones. The bigger ones for sure. I don't think I would use it. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, it works very fast. I don't think I would use it over texture. I think there's plenty of other products that you can use over texture that we could try in the next few weeks. And unless I try it with a product like a clear acrylic paint, like Floetrol. Yeah, I will, Betty. Then, you know, that's for me, that would, if that works, then that's great. Because sometimes you want crackle and you want your decoupage to crackle. But you don't want to paint your decoupage, obviously. So, as I said, this is the best application for in between two acrylics. Thank you so much for joining.